Hello dear students, welcome to English class. I hope all of you are doing well. Students, in this session I'll be continuing with poem first, that is Sherlock Holmes by John Northern Hilliard. So students, in the last class I explained till stanza 5th. I explained you about Watson, that Watson was a doctor who assisted Sherlock Holmes in many of his cases, and also he was his best friend. So after solving the cases, after solving each case, Sherlock Holmes would discuss the case with Watson. He would tell the details about the case to Watson. So till the 5th stanza I have already explained you, and in this video I'll start with stanza 6th. So as you can see on the screen, we have stanza 6th. So his friend Watson then would spin a yarn from the details of the case and label it the Tonkin 3 or mystery of a face. So as Sherlock Holmes used to discuss the details, every single detail about the case with his dear friend Watson, so what he used to do, his friend Watson then would spin a yarn. Spin a yarn means to make long stories. Whatever details Watson got from Sherlock Holmes regarding the case, regarding the different cases, he used to make big or he used to make long stories out of it from the details of the case and label it the Tonkin 3 or mystery of a face. And then he would compile all the details, he would combine all the details and make a long story, or he would make a novel, and then he would give interesting names to the novel, like he would give interesting headings, or he would title the novel or story, and it could be the Tonkin 3 or mystery of a face. This means that he used to label the story, or he used to label the novel. He used to give heading to it, he used to give title to it. So this way both used to discuss about the case, and after discussion, after giving every single detail to Watson, he would compile all the information, and after compiling he would form or he would frame a long story and then also label it, and also would label the story. So I hope that the 6th stanza is clear to everybody. The rhyming words in the 6th stanza is case and face. Case in the second line of the 6th stanza and face on the in the 4th line. Case and face are the rhyming words. So I hope that stanza 6th is clear to everybody. Now we will be moving to stanza 7th. So we have detectives who are shrewd, detectives who are wise, detectives who, like M. Leacock, are experts at disguise. So here the poet is saying that there are several detectives, not only Sherlock Holmes, but there are several detectives, like the detectives who are shrewd. Shrewd means clever. We have detectives who are wise, intelligent, clever detectives we have. Detectives who, like M. Leacock. Now there are detectives like M. Leacock. Now M. Leacock, the full name of M. Leacock is Monsieur Leacock. Monsieur Leacock, he was also a fictional detective, and he was created by the 19th century French writer Gaboriau. Gaboriau created a fictional detective, that is M. Leacock. So the poet is saying that not only Sherlock Holmes, but there are several detectives who are intelligent, who are clever, who are sharp, who are intelligent. There are detectives like M. Leacock, there are detectives like M. Leacock who are expert at disguise. Disguise means to appear different or to hide one's appearance, to become something else, to change the appearance. So that refers to disguise. So the poet is saying that there are several detectives who can hide their appearance. There are detectives who are wise, who are intelligent and clever. So I hope that the seventh stanza is clear to everybody. In the seventh stanza, the poet is talking about several other detectives, and the rhyming words in the seventh stanza are wise and disguise. Wise in the second line of the seventh stanza and disguise in the fourth line. Now let's move to the eighth stanza. So the eighth stanza is, we have detectives whose brave deeds would fill a dozen tomes, but never one that can compare with Mr. Sherlock Holmes. So the poet is saying that we have several detectives, as I explained you in the seventh stanza. There are detectives who are clever, who are wise, who are intelligent. There are detectives like M. Leacock who can disguise, who can hide one's appearance, but they cannot be compared to Sherlock Holmes. So the poet is saying in this stanza that we have detectives whose brave deeds would fill a dozen tomes. Tomes means heavy books or large books. So the poet is saying that there are several detectives whose bravery and valor, the story of bravery might go down to fill several pages, but none could be compared to Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is incomparable. The way he solves the problems, the way he solves the mystery in each case, the way he observes things, so everything is different. None of the detectives can be compared to Sherlock Holmes. He is completely different from the other detectives. So in this, the poet is saying that the way Sherlock Holmes solves each case with an ease, with minimal clues, he cannot be compared to any other private detective. So I hope that the eighth stanza is clear to everybody. And the rhyming words in the eighth stanza are Toms and Holmes. Toms in the second line and Holmes in the fourth line of the eighth stanza. Now let's come to the ninth stanza. So the ninth stanza is, Dupin's Rue Morgue deductions we today vote rather slow, for Sherlock would have solved the case in half a day or so. So here Dupin Rue Morgue. See, Dupin, the full name of Dupin is Auguste Dupin. He is another detective created by Edgar Allan Poe. He is another fictional detective who is created by Edgar Allan Poe. In his murder mystery, The Murders in the Rue Morgue. So the Murders in the Rue Morgue is a murder mystery, and in this murder mystery, Edgar Allan Poe has created a detective, and the name of that detective is Dupin, Auguste Dupin. So in this stanza, the work of Dupin is compared to Sherlock Holmes, but after comparison, the poet is of the opinion that Dupin's work is very slow. He is a slow investigator. He takes a lot of time in solving cases, and the poet further says that if the cases that were solved by Dupin, and the poet says that. Please remove that line. And the poet further says that Sherlock Holmes would have solved those cases in very less time. That means in half a day. That means in half day Sherlock Holmes would have solved the cases that were solved by Dupin. So this means that after comparison, when Sherlock Holmes has been after comparing Sherlock Holmes with Dupin, the poet is of the opinion that Dupin was a slow detective and Sherlock Holmes is a very quick, intelligent and clever detective who could solve any case with minimal clues and in a very less time. So I hope that the ninth stanza is clear to everybody. Now in the ninth stanza, the rhyming words are slow and so. Slow, so. They are the rhyming words. So this shows that Holmes is a skillful investigator and cannot be compared to any other private detective. So I hope that the 9th stanza is clear to everybody. Now we shall move to the 10th stanza. So the 10th stanza is: the novels of Gaboriau, the tales of Mrs. Green, were tossed aside when Sherlock Holmes appeared upon the screen. So the poet has mentioned several other writers, like there were several other detective novels of several writers like Gaboriau and Mrs. Anna Catherine Green. Mrs. Green, the full name of Mrs. Green is Mrs. Anna Catherine Green. And let me tell you about Mrs. Anna Catherine Green, that she was one of the first writers of private fiction. Please remove that line. Now let me tell you about Mrs. Anna Catherine Green. She was one of the first writers of detective fiction in America, and she is considered as the mother of the detective novel. Please remember that Mrs. Green is considered to be the mother of detective novel. So the poet is telling about the other writers and detectives. So the poet is saying the novels of Gaboriau, the tales of Mrs. Green. Tales means stories. They were tossed aside when Sherlock Holmes appeared upon the screen. So these famous writers, they also lost their screen presence once Holmes appeared on the screen. That means earlier the people used to enjoy their work. That means people used to enjoy the novels of Gaboriau, and people used to enjoy the tales or stories of Mrs. Green. But once Sherlock Holmes came on the screen, that means when his novels came, his stories came, then it became more popular among the readers. The readers enjoyed reading the novels and stories of Sherlock Holmes, and all the novels and work of all the other writers were kept aside. They lost their screen presence. So this shows the dominance of Holmes in terms of wit and popularity among the readers. He was very popular among the readers, that readers used to enjoy his work a lot, and all the other writers, all the other fictional private detectives, they were kept aside. So this shows his dominance, this shows his popularity among the readers. So I hope that the 10th stanza is clear to everybody. So the rhyming words in the 10th stanza are green and seen. Green in the second line of the 10th stanza, and seen in the 5th, and seen in the 4th line. So now let's move to the 11th stanza. So the 11th stanza is: so here's to Sherlock Holmes, and may his glory never dim, and here's to his friend Watson for his faithfulness to him. So the poem has dedicated this poem to the great detective Sherlock Holmes, and he wishes that the glory and charm of the character Sherlock Holmes may never dim in the future also. The poet is so much fascinated towards the stories and towards the character that he wishes that the glory remains forever, the charm of the character remains forever. And here's to his friend Watson for his faithfulness to him. Also, the poet has appreciated his dear friend Watson, who has always accompanied him in all the mysterious cases. He had accompanied him in all the cases, and he remained faithful and loyal towards him. So I hope that the 11th stanza is clear to everybody. In the 11th stanza, the poet is showing his dedication. He has dedicated the complete poem to him, and he wishes that the glory, the charm of Sherlock Holmes may never dim. And also he has appreciated his dear friend Mr. Watson, who had always accompanied him in all the cases. So the rhyming words in the 11th stanza are dim and him. See, the meaning of dim is fade. So the poet is saying that may his glory never dim. That means may his charm never fade. So I hope that the 11th stanza is clear to everybody. Now students, let's come to the last stanza, that is stanza number 12th. So, and here's to Conan Doyle, and may he attain the prophet's span, and all his life just write of Holmes, that great and noble man. So, the poet is appreciating and thanking the creator of Sherlock Holmes. Who is the creator of Sherlock Holmes? Sir Arthur Conan Doyle is the creator. So the poet is appreciating and thanking him for his work. So the poet is appreciating and thanking Doyle for his work, for his creation, for his great creation. Also the poet is wishing Doyle to be immortalized as the prophet. Immortalized means to live forever. Because why to live forever? Because he is an inspiration for several aspiring detectives, and also he has spent his entire life dedicating to his fictional character Sherlock Holmes, making him great and a noble man among the readers. See, Conan Doyle has put life in a fictional character. In his creation he has put life. So the poet John Northern Hilliard, he has given a tribute to the creator of Sherlock Holmes as well as to Sherlock Holmes and his glories, that may his glories never fade, and may Sir Arthur Conan Doyle keeps on writing forever so that the readers can enjoy reading about Sherlock Holmes. Because Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, he has added spice to the life of the readers. The readers thoroughly enjoy reading the stories about Sherlock Holmes. And also so I hope that the last stanza is clear to everybody, and the rhyming words in the last stanza are span in the second line of the last stanza and man in the fourth line or in the last line. So I hope that the stanzas are clear to everybody. So this poem is basically a tribute to the creator as well as to Sherlock Holmes. So thank you so much students. I'll be explaining the exercises in the next video. Till then, be safe and please read the poem properly and try to solve the questions. Thank you so much.